We are Cactus Wrestling. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos.
Cactus Wrestling is now available on Spotify and Amazon. And don't forget to check us out on Etsy for all of your Cactus Wrestling apparel needs.
Welcome back to Cactus Wrestling. Week 3 is in the books for the 24-25 NCAA wrestling season. And the biggest event on the agenda for this week was the NWCA All-Star Classic. And just like Flow Wrestling did in terms of weight classes, you guys are going to have to stick around towards the end of the video to hear us talk about Carter versus Parker. So we're going weight by weight here to kind of recap everything. First, we have the D2 versus D3 number ones at 197. Massimo Endine versus Derek Blueball. Endine was going to transfer to Wisconsin
I think he
D1.
had transferred to Wisconsin, I thought.
Well, then,
Transferred back to Wartburg, I think. Maybe I got that wrong, but
yeah, that's a Chris Bono flub right there. One of several many thousand.
especially when you just think about that wrist snap.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see this guy at the Division One level.
I mean, I think he got scared by that one freestyle event that he went to where he didn't really do that well, and then realized, I could just go D3 and win another national title instead of, risking not. I feel like that definitely played a factor for him.
Or it could just be the poor coaching at Wisconsin.
Yeah, it could be that. Maybe he heard AJ's coming back, and was like, I don't want any part of the
Steer
Ferrari.
clear, steer clear.
Steer clear, steer clear. That's at least what I'm sure Mike's thinking.
Yeah, I think Massimo would be competitive against both guys at the D1 level.
I think he'd be able to hang with any guy. Like, I feel like he'd definitely make the national tournament, and he could be right in the mix. I don't know how many guys he's going to get with that wrist snap, though.
I mean, it's slick.
It was powerful, impressive. The guy didn't even know what hit him.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
C
that was something else.
Comparing it to Stephen Little versus Zach Bronigal at 197, despite it only being a 2-1 overtime victory by Stephen Little of Little Rock, very high action match. Both guys were in on several attacks. Both were very good with the scramble game. I gotta tell you, Illinois actually has a pretty good roster this year. We always harp on Illinois saying, "Oh, they can't keep the in-state talent and they're not a great program." Well, they kind of Olympic redshirted all their guys. They have Lucas Bird, they got both Bronagles, Cannon Webster. They have a
They
lot of
got
guys.
Edmund Ruth.
Edmund Ruth, yeah. When Edmund Ruth is potentially like your fourth most impressive guy at this point, that's good news.
Yeah, I mean, and with Zach Bronigal, you
Oh,
always
Luke Luffman too.
Luffman, yeah, he's solid, but Bronigal, he's always a scrapper. Like he's going to war every time he steps on that mat. So, um, yeah, you knew that match was going to be at least a battle, even if it was going to be a crazy scoring thing. But it didn't end up being crazy scoring. It was, yeah, tiebreakers. So exciting. I mean, granted, yeah, with all the scrambles, it kind of was exciting, but like I like when they actually are scoring on one another and the points are flying.
Yeah. 285, Nick Feldman versus Tegadali. This one was a surprise for most people. Now, we always say at heavyweight, oh, size advantage. Well, these guys weighed in pretty much the exact same. I think they were both around 234
Mm.
when they weighed in. Um, Gadali just he brought it. I mean, I he scored two takedowns on Feldman.
Yeah.
Um, Feldman
Like,
just
yeah, he's good.
yeah, yeah. And I believe one of them was like a retake, right?
So it was this crazy thing where Gadali shoots, gets sprawled, Feldman's defending it great, breaks him down flat. Then he somehow manages to work back up and then shoot in, and then he scores off of that. Like he went from his belly to scoring a takedown, basically.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't immediate, but like that was the sequence of events, which was the very impressive thing to pull off.
Yeah. And Gadali got upset already earlier this season
Yeah.
by
But,
Isaac Trumbull, right?
no, I thought it was Owen Trifon.
Oh, Owen Trifon.
I
Which,
think it,
breaking news, Owen Trifon transferring to Lehigh now that Nathan Taylor's out of the season. So
I'm pretty sure I can double check, but I'm pretty sure it's Owen Trifon. Um, that he had, which I mean, 285 is a hot mess. Gable's back. Feldman loses. Colton Schultz loses. Yaroslav loses. Gadali loses. Like they're all getting beat up. Oh no, it was to Trumbull. Yeah, Trumbull beat him 2-1.
yeah.
Trumbull beat Gadali and Yaroslav. Trumbull's on his way.
But he lost to Colton Schultz. He got pinned by Colton Schultz.
Yeah, he got pinned, and yeah, that was a not great moment for him. But
Yeah. So so yeah, I mean, listen, you could take stock into this. I mean, it's November. A lot of things can change in just a few months. I think Feldman clearly has some work to do on his offense a little bit, but we've seen it before. He's been able to take down Greg
well, I mean, I
in
think
years past.
thinking after Las Vegas last year, we were like, I don't know that Feldman's going to necessarily make the podium, maybe. And then by NCAAs, he was giving Greg the closest matches of anybody, and he took fifth. So,
That's true. Yeah, he did have a rough start to his season last year as a freshman. So
yeah, he doesn't peak in November as he
yeah.
shouldn't.
So 125 Jory Vogt versus Tanner Jordan. And
Match
Vogt,
round five. I think
yeah.
I think Volk's was up 3-1 going into this, and is now up 4-1. But
Yeah, Volk two takedowns. So he won this one 8-2. Um
it was 5-2.
8-2.
Oh shit.
Eight
Okay.
to 2, yeah. I think yeah, I mean, I don't know. I give us a matchup that we haven't seen before. Like this was my most annoying matchup that they could have brought, especially at 25 where
And that's where Carter's post-match interview, what he said, or I don't know if it was post-match, but where he was like, "Top ranked guys, where are you? Why aren't you here? Flo put on a great event." Like he makes a great point. Like, why are these the two guys that were out there? I
well,
mean,
Joey Volk is like a top 5 guy. I mean, they're both all Americans, so
they're both all Americans, and they're ranked like 2 and 7 or something. But like, even so, like, why
but the
isn't Richard?
point is they've wrestled each other like 5 times before, like you
Yeah,
said.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I
Give
feel like
us
they
like
could.
a Matt Ramos or a Caleb Smith or even Troy Spratley, I would like to see. I don't know, but
Yeah.
33 was very interesting. Lucas Bird, this guy is going to be a problem
Well,
because
2 years ago he was a problem. Like, I mean, he's a two-time fifth.
yeah,
And then last year, before he got hurt, he was getting beat by guys, and I was just like, I guess he's over the hill. And I don't know. I think he's back true to form.
no, he looked great. I mean, Bailey is the real deal. Bird, Bird so Bailey had two prime opportunities at a takedown. First one was a shuck by in like the first 30 seconds that Lucas Bird literally pulled a Jesse Mendes and did a Granby roll during the mat return. And then the second one, Bailey, third period, shot in a single, got the leg up in the air and got in a funk roll position. Um, Bailey rode him for 55 seconds, but then gave away the escape where Bird actually got in on Bailey's leg and was going for a reversal, but then he was just like, all right, I'm just gonna take my one. So Bird very, very difficult to score on. And he
Yeah,
was able to get away from Bailey, who's really, really tough on top as
it
well.
reminded me of Bird of like 2 and 3 years ago, like how tough he was. Like I was really high on Bird back then, and then last year, I think it was last year when before he got hurt, it was just like he lost a couple matches that I was just like, this can't be the same guy.
Yeah, and mind you,
Like, I don't
few
understand.
few years ago you had RBY, you had Fix, you had um some of those Austin DeSanto in the mix. So this guy's he's still around despite 24 years old, but could make a title run this year. 41 Mendez versus Bartlett. It was
Yeah.
4-1, but it really kind of felt like it was more dominant in Mendez's favor, even though Bo was making a more active effort to get to his offense. He never even touched a leg. Like he shot, but like he never even got anywhere close to Mendez's leg.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, the takedown that Mendes got, he like got in on that high crotch and he was able to work up, sit Bo on his butt, and then climb up and score. So
It
like it
would have
was,
been interesting because he did get that on the whistle. If that
yeah, it
didn't
was a
go
buzzer beater. Yeah,
through,
yeah, yeah. It was
yeah.
right there at
Uh,
the end.
so we'll see these guys probably several more times throughout the season, but I think that with the past off season and Mendez's freestyle, I think we've kind of seen Mendez take a jump. It's really, for me, gonna be Mendez versus Alirez
Hmm.
with Bo on the outside looking in.
That's what we've been saying. I think those two are the top two, and then it's a matter of Bo being the solid third.
Yep. So Shane Van Ness, welcome back. 149. He wrestled Ty Waters 16-4.
Yeah, what a crazy
Now,
what is
you might
what to put a stamp on his return, being like, kaboom, I am back. Boom, baby.
yeah, but what's crazy about this match, and I already know people are gonna call me out for it for being a Penn State hater, is that Van Ness, two of his exchanges were a score to near fall. It's not like he turned Waters. He did get a total of 7 back points, but it was more Waters kind of caught on his back more than Van Ness was able to turn him. So I think that's a big delineation. If
Okay, so then it's still 9-4. That's still a pretty if you take away all the back points.
Yeah, if you take away all the back points, it's 9-4. I think Waters is just a very interesting style. He basically stands straight up and lets guys get in on their legs. And Van Ness is like attack machine, go, 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 go. And he got a stalling point too. Um, I feel like this style just did not work for Waters.
Yeah, poor matchup for him. Yeah.
I think if Van Ness wrestles someone who's a little bit more of a bruiser like Caleb Henson,
Hmm.
it's a different,
Well,
I
that
mean, it's a different,
caliber guy too. I mean,
I don't know. Waters took what, fourth last year?
yeah, that's a national champ for his fourth. That's a different caliber.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, 16-4, I would say I don't think Waters gets caught on his back twice next time, but you got to still hand it to Van Ness for putting on a show at
Yeah,
Penn State.
he's back and better than ever.
So this one's gonna be fun. 57, Tyler Kasak potentially is not even the starter. Yeah, he's in the All-Star Classic. He should call Connor McGonigal for some you know,
End
venting.
up at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, just be like, hey, what do I do? I won my All-Star Classic match, but I have to sit on the bench for the rest of the year.
Yeah. How do I proceed?
So Kasak scored right away. I think he just kind of caught Keller flat-footed, to be honest, which is no excuse for Keller, but it was a very easy uncontested takedown for the most part. And that was pretty much all the scoring. Kasak rode him pretty tough in the second, but Keller was able to escape at the end. And then Keller rode him. I mean, Keller's known for pinning guys on top, and he threw in the cross body ride and he was going to work on top. Kasak was pretty much stalling. He didn't really need to do anything at that point. He didn't get called for stalling, but he was kind of balling up, just avoiding the attacks on top from Keller. But I don't know. What do you think? Does Alex Facundo beat Peyton Keller?
I'm not very high on Alex Facundo. Like I know I heard that he beat Kasak in the wrestle off, and honestly, we put Kasak as one. I mean I didn't think one was where we should have put him in our rankings, but still I think he would have been a higher to easily top five guy. I don't think I would even have Facundo in like the top eight.
Facundo did have an unimpressive win against Drexel in the home opener.
Yeah,
8-6 against an unranked guy. I think he got taken down at one point too.
yeah. I don't see Facundo against all the competition out there living up to like I don't see Facundo being the type of guy that could go on a 7 match win streak at NCAAs like Kasak did.
And it could be a weight cutting issue because Facundo has historically been up at 165. So maybe he's just lacking energy. Kasak looked filled out at 57 and he looked fairly energized. He kind of shut down towards the end against Keller, but I mean that's a returning All-American that he beat. So I wouldn't be surprised if I think it's best for the team to have Kasak in the lineup, but we'll see how Kale and company
Yeah.
manage this one. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, Kale seems to get it right every year, so
Except last time when he had Facundo in the lineup.
that's true. That's true. Facundo went 0-2, I think, at NCAAs.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 165 Peyton Hall versus Hunter Garvin.
I mean,
Um,
Hall is like guaranteed entertainment.
yeah, he is.
Any of his matches, it doesn't matter win or lose, it's gonna be entertaining. Like he's a guy that's basically like must watch because he's he scrambles with the best of them. He'll go for moves like big moves and whatnot. Like so, like you're gonna be entertained no matter what.
Yeah, this was the only pin of the All-Star Classic against Hunter Garvin. I mean, these are two All-Americans from last year. And Peyton Hall, like we've talked about before, has given Keegan O'Toole runs for his money.
Mm.
Now that Keegan's up at 74, 65. I don't know if he would give Messenbrink a run for his money. I'm surprised Messenbrink wasn't wrestling. To Carter's point, why isn't Messenbrink wrestling then?
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe Flo was like, all right, like we can't have all Penn State.
yeah. Maybe.
Maybe we
What
have to just cap it at what? 41, 49, 57, 74, 84.
heavyweight? Oh, it was originally gonna have heavyweight, but Greg backed out.
Yeah, so 5. So half of the way it's at Penn State. I
And
mean, it was at Penn State. It makes sense.
yeah, this is also Garvin's third loss. I mean, it doesn't count towards his record, but it's his third loss this season. Lost to Barraclaw, former Penn State, 11-9, and then he also lost to Caliendo. He blew it 17-12, and he was up 9-2 at the end of the first.
In fairness, those are two like top guys, top 5 ranked guys.
Yes, but still. And then he lost again.
Yeah, to another like top 5 ranked guy. He's had a tough schedule.
Yeah, but this is not a guy you'd expect to have this many losses this early in the season.
Well, when you've wrestled top 5 guys, I mean,
And he hasn't managed to beat any of them.
well,
I mean,
he's ranked lower than them.
no, beforehand, before any of his losses, he was not.
Mm,
I'm pretty sure he was ranked higher than He was definitely ranked higher than Barraclaw.
mm.
Caliendo's ranked 2, so he was below Caliendo. But
Yeah.
so
All right, 174, Levi Haynes versus Kate DeVos. So my takeaways from this one, Levi Haynes was like an onslaught with hand fighting. He was pushing the pace. He was going attacking. Got Devos to stall twice. Got a stalling point. He looks massive. He looks,
he's really filled out, gaining 7
yeah,
pounds.
yeah. Well, I don't know if he gained 17 pounds. I
Well, but I
mean,
mean, going up 17, yeah.
going up 17 pounds. Yeah, he looks massive. But the key takeaway is that he could not take down Cade DeVos, and he didn't really come close either. He got in on the leg once, and they went right out of bounds. Now, here's to say K. DeVos did not come close to scoring on Levi Haynes as well.
Mhm.
But and obviously, it's impossible to lose if you don't give up points. And we'll talk about Carter in a second, but just worth pointing out that Levi could not get a takedown. And then he did turn DeVos with like 16 seconds left in the match. He threw in boots. But I will tell you, there was an exchange where Levi got too high on top, and DeVos had an opportunity to get a reversal and kind of blew it. He could have easily just taken his one. He was in on Levi's leg. Levi went into the splits, and he tried to finish the reversal, but he kind of so if he just let that go, it's 2-1. Levi probably had riding time at that point, so it's 3-1. And if DeVos takes him down, that match is probably going into overtime. So um probably a little closer than the 7-0 makes it seem. He did get turned at the end, but I feel like at that point DeVos was like, all right, like I'm getting ridden out 15 seconds. I don't know. Not much he could really do there.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. I mean,
But Levi does look good. I'm not taking anything away
every
from
time
Levi.
Levi's wrestled up at this weight, it seems like going up 2 weight classes has not really been much of an issue for him.
No, no, no.
Not
Okay, so here's the headliner. We've saved the best for last. Carter versus Parker. Mike, take it away.
Honestly, I'd say these two could not have been more evenly matched. I know Mike is like Aaron Brooks taught him what to do with the underhook, and he was really trying to control things with that. And I mean, yeah, he was trying to use an underhook, but like it didn't really make, I think, that big of an impact on the match overall because it, it went to overtime. Like it was as close as a match could get. It was honestly, I don't think we've seen Carter this close to like losing a match, so to speak, since maybe what, Mackay in the national finals the first time they met, or the other national finals against Kemmerer. Like he hasn't been like wrestling against someone of the caliber that like Carter might actually not win this. Uh, it was definitely not unreasonable that Parker could have gotten in and scored on him. Obviously, it didn't happen that way. And Carter was able to get in on that single out of bounds, and Parker tried to defend it, tried to defend it, tried to defend it, and then ultimately got sat down, and Carter scored. And also, I don't know what happened with the bloody mess of his forehead, but
Yeah. And I was telling you on the phone earlier that it's funny if you rewatch that takedown, I think Carter's both feet were out of bounds. If Kekheisen had just hopped out of bounds, it would have been fresh start. Instead, he tried to sprawl back, and that's where he got sat back down onto his butt. So a
yeah,
little bit more mat awareness right there. And that match would have continued. I think if it goes to rideouts, Carter wins because
it took him a lot less time to get away.
yeah, I mean Carter, he doesn't do anything on top. He just rides.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and hey, I mean Parker can only hold him down for 7 seconds, but he did escape. I know some people were like, "Oh, Carter's gonna open this up. It's gonna be a two takedown match, that type of thing." They both had their opportunities. I think Parker had the leg up in the air, couldn't quite finish. I was surprised that Parker wasn't going for that head outside shot more often, and I feel like we've seen it before when guys get in on I mean, I guess he was injured. He had the ACL last year, but when guys shot in on him, they were able to take him down last year. Um,
Yeah.
so Parker had a great shot, got in super deep, almost finished it, but wasn't able to get it done. So,
I
um,
I know many of you probably won't agree with me here on this, but I think that Parker losing now, he has a better chance of potentially beating Carter at NCAAs than he would have had he won at this match. Had Parker won at the NWCA, I think there was a 0 chance he could beat Carter at NCAAs because I think Carter would be stewing on that for months, and there'd be no, he'd be so laser focused on getting that revenge match. But since Parker lost, hopefully he'll be able to get back to the drawing board and be just as competitive come NCAAs and potentially knock off Carter. I think he has a better chance having lost than had he won. If that makes any sense, which I feel like many of you will not think so, but that's okay.
Yeah, my overall vibe about it was just like similarly to Levi, where Carter's just so darn hard to score on. Um, I just don't know. Although I would love to see Carter lose, there's just something about it that just makes me think that he's just gonna win it all again, and it's kind of annoying. I don't want to see him win. He's so cocky, so polarizing.
Yeah.
And I like Parker a lot. I like his attitude. Um, but for any of those commenters who were like, "Oh, Carter dominated," I think you gotta check yourself. I don't think it
No,
was.
that was definitely not a dominant match by either guy. Like it was as close as a match could get, I think.
I will say, the Penn State home turf advantage may have played a factor because Parker was getting booed for walking back to the
Yeah.
starting line
That
slow. He was
really
doing
wide, like instead of going straight line, here's the he goes around this way and then to the center.
that was a Jordan Burroughs stalling move,
Yeah.
101. Um, but yeah, that's the NWCA All-Star Classic. Overall, I think it was a good event. I do agree as well with Mike and Carter. Love to see the more number ones toe the line in years moving forward, but we got to see some great match. I mean, hey, we had one national finals from last year, with Mendez and Bartlett, so lots
Yeah.
of good matches. I think, aside from some guys pulling out last minutes, maybe
That
due to
was
injuries, you can't really control that. But I think it was a good event overall.
Yeah, we just need to see more top ranked guys in there, like Carter said.
Yeah. So let us know your thoughts down below. What were some of your favorite matchups? Which guys do you think are gonna win it all? Is it gonna be Carter? Is it gonna be Parker? Is it gonna be someone else? Let us know down in the comments down below. And thanks for watching Cactus Wrestling.
Thanks for watching. We are Cactus Wrestling, and we'll see you next time on our next video.